You're watching WKYT News at noon.
Good afternoon. Bill Bryan and Barbara Bailey here for WKYT. We're approaching 12:30, and firefighters fought a different type of battle this morning in Frankfort.
They testified before lawmakers who are considering a bill to expand death benefits to families of firefighters who die of cancer. WKYT's Mark Barber shows us why firefighters say they're at higher risk for the disease. It's our top story at 12:30.
As Lexington firefighter Matt Logston is fighting for his life in a Chicago center where he's being treated for stage 4 cancer, the firefighters he worked with are here in Frankfort fighting for a bill that they say would protect his family and any others in this difficult situation. Senate Bill 195 would classify the death of a firefighter from cancer as a line-of-duty death. The bill calls for the state to give $80,000 to families of firefighters who die from cancer. Firefighters testifying before the Appropriations and Revenue Committee say they have a higher risk of developing cancer because they're exposed to dangerous substances when they fight fires.
New products that are furniture now, it used to be made of natural fibers and wood, is now being burned, and the new stuff is plastic and is pretty much fake. And when it burns, it gives off more toxins.
As the governor tries to slash the state's spending to alleviate the multi-billion-dollar pension shortfall, firefighters are also focused on finance. They're putting restrictions on the bill to keep it from burdening the budget.
In order for the families to qualify for benefits, the firefighter must have worked as a firefighter for 5 years in a row, was under the age of 65 at time of death, and did not use tobacco for 10 years prior to the diagnosis of cancer.
The committee sent Senate Bill 195 on this morning, so it will now be heard on the floor. If it is approved there, it will head on to the House for a vote. In Frankfort, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Now, the bill is not retroactive, so the benefits would not extend to Joe Vissing's family. You may remember the veteran Lexington firefighter died of skin cancer last year.
A preacher who's accused of sexual abuse headed back to court this morning. Tony Sasnet is facing several charges, including sexual abuse and rape. Police say Sasnet met a 16-year-old victim while working for Greater Faith Apostolic Church in Lexington. Today's hearing focused on whether he was in a position of special trust with the girl. While his attorney argues that he was not, a judge ruled he was after hearing police testimony. Sasnet remains in jail on a $10,000 bond and is no longer affiliated with the church. A woman is in jail accused in a stabbing. Police say LaSalle Mitchell stabbed the father of her child at a Madison County home. According to an arrest citation, she was able to grab the knife and stab him multiple times. The Richmond Register says the man is now in a medically induced coma. Mitchell is charged with assault. A couple accused of abusing their foster child will be going to trial next week. The trial for Natisha and Vernon Slawback begins Monday in Fleming Circuit Court. Natisha Slawback was charged with abuse in December of 2013, but was later indicted for assault. A grand jury indicted Vernon Slawback in March of last year, and the Ledger Independent reports Slawback could face up to 20 years in prison if convicted.
The University of Kentucky is alerting students to a possible case of bacterial meningitis on campus. In a letter to students, UK officials said the student has the bacterial infection that causes meningitis, and confirmation of the diagnosis is still pending. This comes just days after 3 cases of mumps were confirmed on campus, but students say they're not too worried.
It seemed like they did a pretty good job of catching illnesses, like they had the mumps. They sent out a lot of emails about that. So I'm seeming pretty confident that they can take care of things like that.
Now, students who came in contact with the ill student have been given medication as a precaution. Officials say anyone who hasn't been contacted isn't at an increased risk. And because of those mumps cases, UK will hold a mumps vaccination clinic tomorrow. It will be from 1 to 3 p.m. in the UHS first floor lobby. The vaccine will cost $59 for full-time students and $74 for other students. UK recommends the vaccine for anyone who hasn't had or can't confirm they've had 2 doses of the mumps vaccine in the past.
The company that owns the 2 cranes involved in the Centerpoint project in downtown Lexington is expecting work at the construction site there to resume. The president of Maxim Crane told WKYT News today that his company works with Dudley Webb. The cranes are paid in full, and he anticipates work to resume on the parking garage. The comments come a day after the city of Lexington sent the crane company a letter informing them of the city's intention to fill in the hole if the Webb companies don't resume work by March 30th. That's the day extensions given to Webb on a city order to resume work run out. An energy company is helping a landmark rebuild after a fire in northern Kentucky. Duke Energy donated $25,000 to the owners of the Rabbit Hash General Store. That store in Boone County burned Valentine's Day weekend, and it had been in business for 185 years. For now, the store is operating out of a barn across the street. Voters in Nevada get their turn to pick a GOP candidate for president tonight.
The biggest battle might be for second place. Weijia Jiang has more now from Washington, D.C.
Donald Trump has a message for Nevada voters.
You gotta vote, vote, vote.
He's hoping to turn support in the polls into a win. The billionaire businessman has a double-digit lead over his GOP rivals entering tonight's Nevada caucuses. Senators Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz are expected to battle for second place.
It's important to be able to say that I am the alternative to Donald Trump, but it has to be a close second.
What an incredible pleasure to be with you.
Cruz is under pressure after a disappointing loss in South Carolina, and one day after he fired his communications director for sharing misleading information on social media about Rubio.
Every single day, something comes out of the Cruz campaign that's deceptive and untrue.
This guy is sick. There's something wrong with this guy.
Cruz says he's conducting his campaign with the highest standards of integrity.
None of you have heard me throw the kind of insults at Marco Rubio that he throws at me every single day.
Both Cruz and Rubio have invested significant time and money in Nevada, but it will be up to voters there to decide if anyone can slow Donald Trump. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, Washington.
Now, on the Democratic side, Senator Bernie Sanders has picked up Spike Lee's endorsement.
Across Kentucky, students took part in tornado drills to kick off Severe Weather Awareness Week. Mill Creek Elementary in Lexington took part in a drill at 10:07 this morning. It took 500 students about a minute and a half to make their way to the gym on the bottom floor of the school. School leaders say the drills are very important, especially with severe weather season on the way.
Every good athletic coach, they practice so once the game is on, they're prepared. It's the same situation. We practice and hopefully the game never happens. But if it does, we are prepared.
This isn't the first time students have practiced a tornado drill this year. They regularly practice fire drills and earthquake drills as well. Researchers are now learning more about what sleep deprivation can do to your mental health.
And when it comes to weight loss, it doesn't take much to make a big difference. Those stories next in Better Living.
Looking at it about early this afternoon, there's not much going on. A couple sprinkles, light showers southeast, but in 12 hours, this is going to look totally different. I'll show you when that rain moves in and what you can expect coming up next.
Their names make headlines. Kim, Kanye, Chris, Kendall, Chloe, Kylie, Caitlin, Courtney. Today, Chloe's back, and we've got one question. What to ask first? Kim and Kanye. Her body. The baby. Caitlin. Everything.
The Talk on CBS.
I met a human who goes by the name King Shark.
He's heading for Central City.
Let's do this thing.
The treasure folks are loving is the ocean's greatest haul. McDonald's Filet-O-Fish, the most golden of them all.
Right now, get 2 flaky Filet-O-Fish sandwiches for just $5.
If you've been involved in an accident, it's so important that you hire your lawyer sooner rather than later. Things change. Witnesses' memories fade. Evidence disappears or is repaired. Time past is your enemy. For example, what color is my suit and tie? Am I wearing cufflinks and a handkerchief? Is Emma with me? Don't wait. Call today. Things change. Morgan & Morgan. For the people.
When you play Kentucky lottery games like Pick 3 and Pick 4, you help Kentucky college students pick up scholarship money.
Fueling imagination.
Funding education.
Home security can be easier than you think. Whether you're a first-time customer or you're unhappy with your current service, Bates simplifies security and makes switching your service to Bates easy. You keep your existing equipment and we do the rest. Switch your system today and get 3 months free monitoring. Recently named Central Kentucky Small Business of the Year.
Bates Security, protecting what matters most.
The Nighthawk Special, only $13.99 this week at Columbia Steakhouse.
We know they're a great value, but to see if Malt-O-Meal cereal tastes as good as they claim, we have assembled a panel of experts. Spoons are up, they're mid-crunch, and full thumbs!
Find Kung Fu Panda 3 specially marked cereal in stores now.
Wake up with a hot McCafe coffee starting at only $1.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Basically, what you see outside right now is what you're going to be getting the rest of the afternoon and the way it looks. Now, there are a couple of sprinkles, a couple of light showers far southeastern Kentucky, and that is a little piece of energy just riding along the Appalachians out ahead of our next complex. And our next complex will be rolling through later on this evening, off into the nighttime hours. That's your look right there, and it's not bad. There's not much to it. It's just little drops here and there. We're talking about our next storm. So our next storm comes barreling on through here overnight and into tomorrow. Here's what we're going to be expecting out of that. At first, there's 5 p.m. tomorrow. You're talking about widespread rain. So widespread rain starts in the southern half of our viewing area later on this evening, and off into the night, that's when it becomes pretty widespread, and everybody will see rain overnight and into tomorrow, waking up pretty soggy conditions. Once that rolls through, I would expect a couple of thunderstorms to fire away too. Maybe even, I would say there is a slight chance of an isolated storm, a stray storm that could become severe over in eastern Kentucky tomorrow morning as the system rolls through. But for the most part, this is going to be your showers and run-of-the-mill thunderstorms put down some pretty heavy rain. But once that passes on through, once 1 to 2 inches of rain falls there on the grounds, then you're talking about snow catching up to that Wednesday night into Thursday. And Thursday is going to be a day that we could have some issues there with delays in schools, maybe some cancellations, kids being home there on Thursday. That is a possibility. So widespread rain Wednesday, widespread snow on Thursday. But remember, as I always say, widespread does not mean heavy snow. It doesn't mean those totals are really going to rack up. It just means it covers a large real estate of our viewing area. As of right now, I would lean more toward the 1 to 2 inch totals for most, but some isolated spots right around 3 inches. And that's going to be the case there for snow. Watch this hour by hour. So here's 8 p.m. later on this evening. Heading out to dinner, yeah, anywhere from 64 southbound. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a little soggy there by 7, 8 p.m. Then we head throughout the nighttime hours, and look how widespread that is. That was midnight. This is when I expect the possibility of some strong, potentially an isolated stray severe cell. Right in this area, right through here. We're talking Moorhead to Jackson, Mount Sterling, eastern Kentucky. There's 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, and then it just becomes pretty widespread throughout the day as that system rolls on through. There's the cold air catching up. There's noontime on Thursday, and you see Thursday afternoon. Yeah, there you go. So 1 to 2 inches of rain. Then you're talking 1 to 2 inches of some snow for most, and with the highest point being right there around 3 inches of snow there on Thursday. But guys, it moves out there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday looks really good. 40s and 50s there for the weekend. So it only sticks around for a couple of days. Other than that, it's one of those forecasts that's just abnormally warm for this time of year.
Mm-hmm. Even with the snow, sort of a slushy snow.
Oh, absolutely.
You were saying.
Yep.
All right, we'll keep track of it, and we thank you. And a possible link between sleep and your mental health. And the reason a little goes a long way when it comes to losing weight.
Jamie Yukas has details in this Better Living report.
Good news for obese people trying to slim down. Researchers in St. Louis found just a 5% weight loss could spark the biggest health benefits. Even a 10-pound weight loss in a person weighing 200 pounds cut diabetes and heart disease risk and improved metabolic function. Doctors in California are investigating the link between sleep deprivation and depression. They say a gene they've been tracking in mice may explain how mood disorders can be triggered by biological clock changes. And anxious and depressed parents are more likely to have children who are fussy eaters. That's according to researchers in the Netherlands. They tracked thousands of family members and found the more anxious the parents were, even during pregnancy, the more likely their preschoolers would be picky eaters. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Jamie Yukas, CBS News, New York.
Well, it's a musical that'll make you laugh.
Right, where you can see Spamalot right here locally, coming up on WKYT News.
While some airports offer a few flights to a few places a few days a week, Louisville International offers daily flights to more of the places you want to go. You can get there from there, eventually. Or you can see where we can take you. Visit us today.
Important message for women and men ages 50 to 85. Please write down this toll-free number now. Right now in areas like yours, people are receiving this free information kit for guaranteed acceptance life insurance with a rate lock through the Colonial Penn program. If you are on a fixed income or concerned about rising prices, learn about affordable whole life insurance with a lifetime rate lock that guarantees your rate can never increase for any reason. If you did not receive your information or if you misplaced it, call this number now and we'll rush it to you. Your acceptance is guaranteed with no health questions. Please stand by to learn more.
I'm Alex Trebek, and the announcement you just heard is for a popular and affordable life insurance plan with a rate lock guarantee. That means your rate is locked in for life and can never increase. Did you get your free information kit in the mail? If not, please call this toll-free number now. In the last month alone, thousands have called about this plan with the rate lock guarantee through the Colonial Penn program. And here's why. This plan is affordable, with coverage options for just $9.95 a month. That's less than 35 cents a day. Your rate is locked in and can never go up. And your acceptance is guaranteed. You cannot be turned down because of your health. See how much coverage you can get for just $9.95 a month. Call now for your free information kit. Don't wait. Call today.
Call 1-800-909-4488 for your free information and free gift. There's no obligation. That's 1-800-909-4488. Or visit us online at colonialpenn.com. That number again is 1-800-909-4488. Call now.
What do these women have in common? They are the staff of Ageless Medical Weight Loss. They've lost a combined 1,300 pounds. The team at Ageless will understand your struggles and celebrate your victories. For a medically supervised, affordable weight loss solution, call Ageless today for a free consultation.
The accident wasn't that bad. This check will cover all the repairs. Plus, you don't have a rental car agreement, but we're going to give you an allowance for getting back and forth to pick up your car. How's that sound?
Oh, okay.
All you need to do now is sign right here. You can get on with your life.
A smiling cheater is still a cheater. Come on now. You know what to do. Call 800-800-4600.
We're so glad you're with us today. It's a musical comedy adapted from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Lafayette High School presents Spamalot.
They're having a lot of fun with it, and we are joined by two of the performers, Cooper Fitch and Shannon Calkins, getting ready to hit the stage, and they are from Lafayette High School. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Hi, thanks.
This has got to be so much fun. Tell us about Spamalot.
Oh my gosh. So it very much has many of the iconic lines from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, but with added songs, a few added characters. It's really funny.
Yeah. What are you hoping people will experience if they come to one of these shows?
I would say that it's definitely very funny. We try to keep up all the comedy that's kept in the movie. We try to emulate what happens there. And then we throw our own little spins on everything, too.
Yeah. Look for a few surprises along the way.
What is it? A lot of people don't think about all the work that goes into a production like this. What's it like bringing something like this to the stage?
Well, we started in January, and usually rehearsals go from right after school, so like 3:30. And for the first few weeks, it's okay. It's till like 6:30. But as it gets more into it, and we're actually running the show like this week, since we open on Thursday, we go until 9 every evening. So it's dance rehearsals, voice rehearsals, acting. Just putting it all together is a lot of time.
One of my questions is, do you anticipate feeding off the audience? I mean, you know, all of a sudden, as you say, those unexpected things happen. They find it funny.
Yes.
Does that, you know, kind of work its way into the show?
Oh, yeah.
Very much so. There are some audience participation points going on in the show. It's a lot of just feeding off of what the audience can bring and what we can give to the audience.
What about that moment when you're on stage and you know that you are really entertaining? You can hear it, you can feel it. What's it like?
It's great. Personally, I think both of us want to do this as a career. So it's generally like we love it a lot.
Yeah, just knowing that you landed a joke is really one of the big things.
You know right away.
You have played a character, right?
Yes.
All right, very good. If people want to see the show, it is going on with the performances beginning tonight. Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday.
Okay, sorry, Thursday. So it'll be Thursday and Friday, and then also a Saturday performance, a matinee that day, and then the evening as well, right?
Yes.
All right, so tickets still available. People can come out and just enjoy it then.
You can get them online, too.
Beeler Auditorium at Lafayette High School. Thanks for coming.
Good luck with
Good luck, and good luck in your careers. Hopefully it all works out.
We do.
Keep it here now on WKYT, and in a little bit, some music from these two.
We're looking forward to that. Stay with us.
Hi everyone, Amber Canoy here from Moms Every Day on WKYT. As a mom, I want what is best for my children, and that includes seeing them succeed in school. Success in school can be influenced by so many things, like a healthy breakfast. We've all heard that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and with good reason. Studies show kids who eat breakfast have better concentration during school hours, and even research suggests that eating breakfast every day can improve mental focus, math scores, and grades overall. Making a healthy breakfast a habit is just another step to encourage academic success that could result in better grades, qualifying them for key scholarship money from the Kentucky Lottery, which rewards students based upon their high school GPA, ACT, SAT, and even testing well in advanced placement programs. Higher education is a reality for more Kentuckians than ever before, thanks to scholarships and grants funded by the Kentucky Lottery. After all, Kentucky Lottery is fueling imagination, funding education.
Excuse me, Mr. Jones? Hi.
Already?
You booked an appointment.
I just started cooking.
We at Time Warner Cable need to apologize to you.
I haven't even started a bronze yet.
We no longer give you an excuse to work all day perfecting your tan.
Starting to even it out.
We're making a bunch of changes at Time Warner Cable, including 1-hour arrival windows. We'll also tell you how long our visit will take before your appointment starts.
You're never far away from a new Toyota. Find the latest offers on your tablet or phone. Toyota is everywhere you are at buyatoyota.com. Now, during the final days of Toyota's Anytime, Anywhere event, get this 2016 Camry with 0 for 60 financing plus $500 bonus cash. Get $1,250 customer cash or a $179 a month lease. So visit here and then come in here. Now through February 29th. Toyota. Let's go places.
After I got hurt in a car wreck, I didn't know what to do about my car repairs until I made that one call.
I'm attorney Darryl Isaacs. It takes just one call to my office, and we'll start working on your case right away to get the money you deserve after you've been hurt in a car wreck.
All these medical bills just keep coming, but I'm getting all the help I need by just making that one call.
One call, that's all.
Call the way to go down to 553-0000.
Our city is like one big machine with thousands of moving parts. Lextran keeps more of those parts moving than most of us realize. Moving thousands of people a day to and from places of education or employment or enjoyment. Days and nights, rain or shine, weekdays and weekends, Sundays and holidays. So whether you ride the bus or not, you can count on the fact that many of the people you count on Lextran.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. Follow WKYT on Twitter.
All right, it's going to get interesting, later this evening, overnight, and into the next couple of days.
That's true.
2 days.
Yeah, next 48 hours are pretty active. We start with about 6 to 8 p.m. in southern Kentucky. That moves northbound. So remember, all this is coming in from the south, and it'll be widespread. By 12 hours away from right now, off into the night, right around midnight, it's widespread. Everybody's in on the mix. Then we head through tomorrow morning, guys. We're looking at some storms along the way, too. So Chris Bailey is going to be in here at 4 p.m. He's going to talk about that and when you start to see that transition to snow on Wednesday night.
The reason I said 2 days, because then it's out of here, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Pushes on out. That's right.
We're so glad you were with us today. The Young and the Restless is next.
We want to leave you this afternoon with the sounds of the musical comedy Spamalot, presented by Lafayette High School this weekend. Enjoy the music now.
Once in every show there comes a song like this. It starts soft and low and ends up with a kiss. Oh, where is our song that goes like this? Where is it? Where?
A sentimental song that casts a magic spell. They all will hum along, will overact as well. Oh, this is the song that goes like this.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Now we can go straight into the middle eight, a bridge that is too far for me.
Sing it in your face while we both embrace,
and then we change the key.
Larry, do we?
That's awfully high for me.
But everyone can see we should have stayed in D.
Singing our song that goes like this. I'm feeling very proud.
Singing far too loud.
That's the way that this song goes.
You're standing on my toes.
For this is our song that goes like this.
I can't believe there's more.
It's far too long, I'm sure.
That's the trouble with this song.